What's up everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna be talking about how I learned English and some tips that might help you learn any language that you want. Obviously, learning a new language is not a piece of cake. It takes several hours of dedication and hard work. Also, it's extremely hard to master. I obviously don't say this to discourage you, but if you're in the early stages of learning a new language, you should know that it's gonna take more than just wishful thinking. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how I learned English and some tips that hopefully are gonna help you learn any language that you want. When I moved to the US, I honestly thought I knew some of the language. But reality was some of the English that they teach you at high school and those overpriced schools your mom sends you to can only teach you so much. I was shocked to see that I couldn't hold a conversation any longer than greetings. It became frustrating very easily. Can you honestly imagine what it was like? It would be like having a conversation with the cousin that you barely spoke to. It would be something like, hey. Hey. Yo, how you doing? Good, and you? Good. Nobody wants to hear a conversation like that. That would be kind of painful. But there was no turning back since my family had to leave everything behind to look for the better life. So I made up my mind and decided I was gonna kick ass at English. I was gonna get so good that I was gonna get rid of my accent. But as you can see in this video, that never happened. But I came up with some ways to self-study that didn't seem as boring as taking a regular English high school class. Little did I know, some of them actually worked. With the little money I had saved, I purchased my first cell phone, which was this one. I downloaded some apps that helped me basically hold on to the basics, like structuring sentences and stuff like that, and some other things I already know how to do. Now that I think about it, that was basically the only thing they taught us how to do in high school, other than greetings, parts of the body, and so on and so on. This was mostly to keep me from forgetting those things and getting more and more comfortable doing my own sentences. An app that I started using since I came to the US and I still use to kind of study some of the languages, it's Duolingo. It doesn't really matter if you are somewhat advanced at the language or if you're just a beginner. This app is basically for every level. You basically just do 5 minutes a day. That little owl will stalk the caquita out of you. And if you wonder what a caquita is, this is a caquita. A caquita. Eventually you're gonna imagine it following you with a knife. Movies! When we first came, we discovered the existence of Netflix. Most of the movies and series I was watching at the time had subtitles in Spanish, but I really thought it would help to have it in the language that I wanted to learn at the time, which was English. It really gave me an opportunity to adapt to the sound of the language. Not only I will watch it in English, but I will also have the subtitles in English. Sometimes pausing it and repeating the sentence until I felt like it was somewhat similar to what the character was saying. This really helped me a lot to get used to American accent. Some of the shows I watched at the time were Pretty Little Liars, Friends, and 2.5 Men. Honestly, because I felt that they were somewhat long and it would help me get used to the voices of the actors and eventually getting rid of the subtitles. After I rewatched some of them, I would find myself completely turning off the subtitles and still understanding what they were saying. I was shocked. Books! I really enjoy reading. It became a main hobby during high school, and it's still one of the things I enjoy doing with my free time. When I came here, the first year and a half of my life became about learning English, but I honestly didn't want to sacrifice any reading time because of that. So I found a way to include reading in my learning process, and that was reading in English. Not gonna lie, it was kind of painful at the beginning because I couldn't understand most of it. So instead of reading a new book in English, I decided to reread some of the books that I've already read. This way, I already knew what the book was going about. The only difference would be that it was in a different language. This helped me focus on looking up the meaning of new words as I encountered them. I started by interrupting myself every sentence, then every paragraph, then every page, then every chapter, and so on. The more I kept going with this practice, the least I had to interrupt myself in the future because I had already looked up those words. So going forward with the reading was much easier than before. Obviously, there are many words that I still don't know the meaning of, but that's normal. And now I can probably go many chapters before I have to look anything up. I'd say that's kind of progress though. Stop translating everything. When you're just starting to learn a new language, it is kind of helpful to translate everything back to your native language. It honestly makes sense to do so. It probably doesn't come as a surprise to you that not every word exists in every language. Like, te quiero doesn't even exist in English. Its literal translation is I want you, which if you say to someone in America would be like, no. Honestly, if you are gonna say it in English, you might as well say it with this face. It's neither I love you nor I like you. It's kind of like in between. it just doesn't have a word in English. With times it becomes easier to look up the words in the language that you're learning without having to translate them. And I honestly think it should be used as a last resource. Not caring. Or don't give an F. While reading and Netflix helped me get better at understanding the language, I was still kind of shy about speaking it out loud. I honestly had quite a few racist experiences due to my accent and my lack of understanding. So even if I was getting better at it, I was still kind of doubtful about putting it on practice. The jobs I'd had up to this point were mainly in Spanish, which didn't really push me to get better. But then I realized speaking broken English and learning from my mistakes was already better than not doing it at all. And after that, I just didn't care as much if I messed up. It really hit me. Who cares? If anyone laughs because you're learning their language or any other language, then chances are you're already better at speaking their language than they are speaking yours. You can't really put a price tag on knowledge, and knowing more of something
Can really hurt you at all. It may not be perfect, but remember you already know a whole language, and then some. So people making fun of you could either be jealousy, stupidity, or ignorance. Take your pick. Now when I receive a racist comment, I smile. I tell them they have the right to have their opinion, and I tell them to have a nice day. But inside I'm like, let me know in the comments, what language are you trying to learn? And if any of these tips helped you. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe while you're at it for more videos like this. Rosie out!